Hi, lads.
Paul, we're just streaming, mate, if you want to jump in.
Yeah, Paul, you're in stream, mate. Jump in game. We are live. Hey, how is everyone doing today? Paul has just joined at the wrong time. He has jumped in literally the deep end. We're currently live on YouTube, Paul, just to let you know, and we're going to quickly run through the latest updates that we have with Takistan. So, obviously, first off, welcome, everyone. God, I've not streamed in like months. There's rumours that I died of COVID and stuff like that. No, I'm joking. I've just been busy, everyone. I've just not really been streaming on much on PUBG, not been streaming much on DayZ. Just been working loads of new bits and pieces for my work. So anyway, the guys have asked me to run a live stream, which is fine, and we are here. So Corey is the mastermind behind a lot of the stuff that you're going to see. You laugh, mate. You love it though, but you do turn things around pretty quick. And we have revamped Takistan Plus, as you see it. So this is another relook at CPA's Takistan with Elite DayZ, and some of the updates that we have done to the map to one, rebuild population. I think we tried to overcomplicate it a little bit first time round, so we're trying to bring it back a little bit more simple and bring in new modifications, new buildings, new areas, new locations, and just another feel to Takistan. Really trying to enhance the players', I suppose, experience on the game. So first thing, details, wipe. We wiped on the 10th of the 10th, 2021. So we are now 6 days into the wipe, and we are building our numbers up slowly. So it's the time to jump in there. There isn't is it full pop? Can I jump in? No, just jump in. Come have a look. Come see the mods. Come see the areas, and let us know what you believe. We believe we are going to get to full pop again, and the numbers week on week have been increasing. What's happened with the wipe? So we have updated Takistan as a whole, and this is going to come through loads of different custom locations, which we're going to run through shortly. We've added some more features, and we scrapped back loads of the mods, so it's a little bit of a different feel. Map's all the same, and obviously CPA has been applying updates, so there's some new areas, new towns, and as you can see from the stream at the moment, we have gone back to the old trader location. So we moved with TakistanPlus, we moved the trader up to the northeast, which was okay, but because it's very sandy and deserty, people struggled. We've actually moved back to Farah, and again we've populated here, and we've put loads of trees in, as you can see from the mountainsides here, purely because we wanted to ensure that people could get away from the trade location nice and quick. I suppose, Corey, talk us through the trader. What's the thoughts behind this build here?
We just wanted to tone it down a bit. No disregard to the old trader, it was good and everything, but it was a bit like a funnel. So you drop frame rates and stuff. You'd have at full pop, you could have 80 people at one time in like a corridor, if you like, all in the same rooms, all in the same area, and it was dropping a lot of people's frames and crashing a lot of people's games as well. So here we've got one main building where people can come mill around, got a couple of wells and stuff, and then all the shops are pretty spread out. But if you notice as well, there's not many high buildings or anything like that blocking people's perspective. So if your mate's over at the building trader and your mate's over there at the vehicle trader, it's just a quick run. You can see where they are, and it just makes it clean and simple, which is what I think people like. As a player, that's what I like, and that's what we're trying to do, just get it how the players would want it. So yeah.
It is clean. You can note as well, we stopped the ability for helicopters to land. There is a lot of random objects in the middle. Again, it's just to control frame rate. So if you are landing, you have a 500-meter radius around the trader now. So we have reduced that. It was a lot higher before, so we've reduced that now. So unable to land helis directly on top of the trader, but you're able to pump them around the area. And then obviously a nice little feature, which I like what you've done, is with the base building stuff, you've given an area which the cars can pull into. So there isn't that long old walk with the sheet metal back to your car. So yeah, nice little feature there. Obviously, we're going to go into this next section a little bit more in detail, but looking at the ATM. So we have opted to pay for an advanced groups, which is a great mod, and it comes with other features and benefits as well, which we can have a look at shortly. But one of the main things is the ATMs. So a new look on the ATMs. It does allow you to go back to the clan banking system, and you will be rewarded. So as you are playing the game, you will get money straight into your bank account for just playing alone. So when you have spent your money and you're struggling a little bit just by physically playing, trying to find loot, you're getting paid for your time in the server as well. We are looking to increase the value, but we're just seeing how that takes off at the moment. And as I mentioned, you have the ability to do clan bank accounts and options. So with M now, we have the map system, which shows us all the markers. It gives us all the info. So you've got access to the rule books, website, Discord, and the donation link if you want to support. But we also now have our access to groups, and you're able to make groups. It does cost you, and then you can pay to increase your group size, and there's additional cost each time. The moment you add a group in, though, it will give you advantage that you can make a group bank account, giving yourself access to more funds. If your mate needs funds and he's in a trader, you'll be able to share money across map, which I think is a nice little feature to bring back into the game. Anyway, that being said, do you want to bump me over to a ATM? Let me know when you move me.
Yeah, I'm moving you now.
And at the blip there. So
there we go.
Bring my character back. Let it catch up. How far you flying me across? And
Pretty
there
far.
we go. So we have, hopefully we don't get run over. We've introduced the yellow ATMs. Yellow ATMs now are a robbable ATM source. Players are now have dotted across the map, and we plan, if this takes off, to add more in. But we're going to we're going to be adding in more of these to the towns into the same building. So it's with the same building type. You can, with these, you can deposit and withdraw cash. So if you are on about and you've got money, or you've killed someone locally, you can run back to a closer cash machine to deposit the money into your account or your clan bank account, and you can transfer money from here. But most important feature of this is that you're able to rob these bank accounts. So with an ATM, it has the ability to have a lockpick, and then you'll be able to take over and try and take money away from the bank. You need a minimum of 8 players into the server before you can do this. And also, as you rob this, you can't go within 15 meters of the ATM. You've got to stay within the location. Once the rob has completed, obviously everyone will be notified that it's happening, and it is town location, so it will come up as a notification. People will try and defend on this. You're gonna have to defend this location as a team to make sure, obviously, you don't get rolled up on. With these ATMs, yellow ATMs, you can get anything from standard from 20,000 to 50,000 as a standard reward, and it is done on a logic. But also, what I like about these ATMs is that as players use these, they're going to be able to deposit and withdraw money, and it's going to take a 10% chance of having access to that money. So the more players in the world are using these ATMs, the more money that you will have on top of that 50k that you're going to be able to take away. Now, successful robbing of the ATM will lock. You won't be able to then deposit the money back in there, because I know that's what you're thinking. You're going to have to make your way to another ATM and or to a safe trader location to deposit the money if you get away with a heist nice and clean. You will be able to come back, and it will lock for a maximum of 60 minutes before being able to come back and take over the ATM and give it another go. I think that's it. Anything really else to add on the ATMs? I think that's quite clean.
Yeah, that's pretty much, yeah.
Clean cut, should we say. Yeah, I quite like that feature, if I'm honest with you. I think it's just a nice add, that especially when people are running around the world, they're able to make a little bit of extra money. And I think it's about that timing, being able to time it when people are not around or trying to hit an ATM, because most of these, as you've dotted around, Corey, are right in the smack bang middle of a town. So people might have been built in these areas and things like that. And if you get a notification up saying, hey, this ATM is being robbed, you're like, oh, that's only around the corner. Let's go have a little pop. Yep. That's an extra 50k, if not more, for 100%.
Us. The 15-meter radius as well, that's obviously, if you look at the building where the ATM is, it's set out really, so you can't go miles away and sit with a sniper and just watch for anyone who's coming into the radius of the ATM that's been robbed. So it takes that away of the part of people camping it and stuff like that. It pretty much tells you that the players robbing the ATM are going to be in that building. So it gives the people who are going to run up on them as well a decent chance to come in and cause some PvP. And it gives opportunity for good firefight.
I think we are going to see some good firefights. If people actually said they're going to be in this compound and they can't spread across the road because they start losing the robbing. So yeah, you just as a team that are rolling up on these, you got to, you can play it safe. You kind of know where they're going. You can surround them and then get the PvP action in. So it's gonna be an interesting one to watch as it all descend on it.
100%.
Right, moving on. Doesn't help when I'm doing this. Our wonderful tech banks. So new edition came out yesterday. Tech banks are the level up from the ATM. What does that mean? It means you can't get access to this. You can't just roll up and rob this ATM. You are going to need a key card. Now, the key cards are spawning out in drops at the moment. And there is one technically in world that will respawn every time it gets picked up. Key card will be able to run up and then hit the alarm door. And I'm sure Corey or Paul can give us a demo. Once you've swiped your key card, the vault door is going to open, and you have it open for 60 minutes only. If you're caught inside of that 60 minutes, the door will close and there is no access to swipe again getting out. So your player will be trapped in this location until someone else comes along with a key card and opens it up. Once you hit the swipe card, you'll hear the alarm and the door will open up. And then 10 minutes before that alarm re-kicks back in and the door's closing, you will hear that alarm one more time before that door closes. And when the alarm kicks up, we've got access to these loot boxes. Unfortunately, we're unable to pick what loot is going to be in there. So it's kind of, I suppose, the standard DayZ loot, but the more the higher tier stuff. So not the custom snafu weapons and other bits and pieces that we've got. But then you've got access to this ATM. ATM is a higher level ATM. The difference between this one and the yellow one is behind a closed door, aka in the tech bank, but also two, this one here has actually a higher limit. So instead of a 50k limit before, you can get a minimum of 50k at this one, but a maximum of 100k. Plus, like before, unfortunately players won't be using this, but this one will be tagging up every minute. It increases its money in the actual ATM itself, and then you'll have a 10% chance of also getting access to that money. So again, this ATM players can't use and deposit, but it is ticking up money constantly while the server is running. So you don't know how much money is going to be in these ATMs, but what I can say is you will get a minimum of 50k to 100k. And then on top of that 100k, you're also going to get a 10% chance of taking the rest of the bucket that is sitting in this ATM. So I think a nice little feature, and definitely is going to be an interesting one. You've got to remember as well, while you're robbing the ATM, you can't leave the area. It's going to come up as a notification again. People are going to know where you are, and there is only one way in and out. So I'd love to see a couple of firefights happening here where people are trying to defend and people are trying to push in. These are normally sitting just on the outside of town. So I think it's going to be a interesting one. Anyone that thinks that's nice and smart to jump in the little hole in the top corner here, please be warned, Corey's put this in for a joke, because don't forget there is no swipe card access from the inside. So if we have a ticket logged in that you're stuck inside a bank, that's your problem, unfortunately. The only option is to be killed and then run back and try and get access with a key card if you have one. I think that's it for the tech banks. ATMs as a general, I like it. I think it's a nice ad from you, and I think it's going to make a big difference to players playing the game.
Just adds that other dynamic.
Yeah, 100%. Right, let me load this one in. The joys of streaming and trying to bounce around. This is Corey. All I'm going to say is Corey got bored of looking at the empty airfields that we are experiencing with Takistan, and have now started to get a better feel and more of a denser feel within the airfields. I'm going to let Corey talk through this, but one thing I will state is that despite the amazing build that he's done, it populates loot. So you're going to be finding military loot in the military buildings, you're going to find medical loot in the medical buildings, and if there's any construction or other buildings located around, it has the relevant loot to that, to a tier 4 system. Anyway, Corey, chat away, mate.
Yeah, so basically, as everyone knows, in Takistan, the airfields are just a bit of desert with a runway in, really. So what we wanted to do here was add a lot more loot, so it's a lot more enjoyable for people to come. They've got better chance of getting higher loot, and again, it just draws that PvP in as well. Higher loot means more people wanting to be there, which again all relates to more PvP. Yeah, that's it really. Like I say, it's just, I think it's a lot better. personally, and like I said before, we want it to be from a player's perspective. You don't want to be running to an airfield, which is a tier 4 loot zone, and have 3 barracks to loot and no one to see. You want it to be fun, and plenty of buildings to run through, and yeah, plenty of camps, plenty of players.
I must admit, when I was testing this area, I was running through this in a sandstorm hit, and the dynamics of these sandstorms, as we've got one at the moment, but the difference of these sandstorms when you're in the area, you could find a team, 2 teams of people running around these extra areas and not touch base with each other, and still have a huge amount of loot that's been picked up. But then the moment the sandstorm ends, the visibility and you'll be able to pick up these firefights are going to be a lot greater. I really like the medical areas. I think that especially if you're looking for medical equipment, it's really defined what you can find in these areas. So you'll be able to go into these and try and work out, okay, well, I need medics because I'm ill or whatever it may be, and able to go pick up the loot that's relevant to, I suppose, the section of the airfield that you're in. But it just makes sense. I think this one thing we spoke about when we was making these areas is that it just needs to make sense. And they're a bit empty. So having now a more populated area with loot, with military gear is going to, one, as you said, cause people to come here and have bigger and better fights, because they're going to be fighting for this gear, but they're also going to be coming out here, and if you've got a team with a good car or they've got a helicopter, they can get really stacked up and snowball some of this money. And as you can see now, like, not even the airfields you left empty, the air bunkers you left empty, there's stuff in all of them. We've got helicopters that are smoking. The smoke changes wind direction, so when you've got people trying to camp up in some of the sniper towers that are close by, the smoke's going to really put them off as well. So, I think we're going to see some nitty-gritty fighting happening in this area.
It accommodates everyone as well. Like the way the buildings were placed, it's a clean run through. People can run through. They're not getting snagged up in loads of rubbish placed in one area. It's an open space, and like I was saying, it accommodates everyone. You can have put a few extra towers in and stuff like that, so you can have a few different sniping points instead of the usual hills and rocks that everyone will be going to look for snipers. You've got sniping positions from ATC to ATC. You've got radio towers in, other military towers as well, and like I say, it just makes it a lot more enjoyable, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Right, this is the south one.
Yeah, this is south, mate. Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. You've done both, mate. North is a lot bigger.
Yeah, north is big. Yeah, big fire was the north.
Go on, Paul.
Right.
Yeah, I think density brings a lot into the airstrips as well as because people are camping. You having cover from every angle is really, really great.
Yeah.
Okay, north with a sandstorm. Love it. You
can see everything.
Shows how good status orbs can be when you're in an airfield, though, innit?
100%.
Another thing to add as well, with the custom locations, something else I put in was custom lighting.
Yeah, at night time.
So at night time, the barrack areas, military camps, you'll notice that there's been lampposts placed, and those lampposts are actually working. So you will be able to. It just brings again another dynamic for PvP at night time. You don't have to have them MVGs, but you do if you're trying to scout people running through the middle. It's just in them denser camped areas. You will have a small light which does assist players.
But it's not bright either, because I remember I thought it was going to be brighter. It's like this sort of dull, like as if it was realistic, I think it's the right word.
Yeah.
Light that happens. So obviously having a quick flyover, good enough we've got an airdrop in here as well, so getting attracting players in. But yeah, it's just that smoke of the helicopters. As I noticed the other day when I was just running around checking all the loot and stuff, like, you really changes your dynamic when you're trying to look up a sniper tower and then you just lose that visibility for a couple of seconds. Can really save a player's life from I suppose having those snipers that are just camp out some of these areas for the kills. So some of the older towers that we saw, some of the new towers coming in here, new military area at the back. We've got helicopter pads that's smoking as well. Some more military buildings, more planes. Again, just all just making sense of the area. I even like the crash planes at the end, to be fair. Nice tower at the end. Another ATC down the bottom here, and sitting in the middle, we've got these military bunkers. As I mentioned before, so you've got the firehouse, which is going to fire gear in it. Yeah, it just makes sense. Which is just multiple areas in which people can camp up, multiple areas in which people can get loot. So I just really want to see how these fights. I think we're going to have some events up these neck of the woods as well, just because of the dynamic of this area. I think it works well. So as I said, as I mentioned, it's all spawning loot, and it's going to be having gear here inside, which is going to be great. That's that, Millie. So I suppose onto what was it? The bunker next. The bunker, I think, is next on the agenda. So bunker is something that I've always liked. I'm just about to die. And do you know what? I like the bunker because I've always been a fan of Dero. I love Dero as a map, and I really like that how you can work your way down and into a special area of the game. But that obviously I gave you the insight of how to make it, and the next thing, with a day later, Corey has turned around this underground massive bunker. Actually, I'm not going to go that far into it just yet. Let me have a look on the outside. Where we've got this sort of entry point here, not really anywhere for people to camp, and then you're going to work your way, like DayZ building. We're going to work our way through some of these bunkers. It might even be better me showing this from my perspective. But yeah, the plan is, obviously loot is going to be spawning in here, as you can see on the ground. We've got a couple of areas which you might find players pitching up, holding down, especially if they know someone's coming behind. A couple of milli tents as we work our way through. Again, loot on here. Don't forget, it's kind of loot plus. I would say there is some restricted loot that we've reduced down, but there is some stuff we have pushed up. Also, work your way through another military bunker, and then you work your way to the magic mosque. Now, plan of action, and get this why you can, is there is going to be a locked door here that you're going to need the key cards, and as you enter into the key cards, we're going to have options to have free chests. These chests automatically spawn based upon a list, and there are 3 different types of keys. So you either have one key, you're only going to be able to get access to one of these loot chests, and they do vary. There are ones with guns, there are ones with armor, and there is one with a bit of both, and it is lucky dip. Once it is opened, it is open until the server restarts. So it is maybe, I think we're going to see players rush down here, especially after the server restart or an event, because they might have a key and then they're going to try and work their way to get the loot. And as I said, players, it's going to be a lucky dip when you open up what is going to be inside of there. It could be hardly anything, it could be everything. And there are a lot of spawned. It's the snow stuff as well, isn't it? That we put really, really high tier, really, really loot. So if you, I can imagine a player picking up like one of those guns out of those chests and then getting caught because another team's coming behind. So again, this sort of PvP action as people try and work their way out, they're going to get, I suppose, tunneled into. They're going to have to fight their way out because there is no other escape route from this. So we shall see. Oh, they are received $200 in my bank account for just playing the streamer. Thanks, DayZ. But yeah, I like it. I think it's been good. There are more that we want to put in, and I definitely feel this is, if we can get it right with a frame balance and loot balance and worthwhile players coming here, I think this could be a nice unique feature that we have compared to other servers that are running Takistan. I don't believe there are any other Takistan maps that are doing this and or have our custom locations as well. So I think we are one of a kind when it comes to TakistanPlus custom 100%. Locations. Cool.
Ready for the custom military zone?
Let's go. So our last custom area at the moment, as it stands, I know we've been talking about others, is a bit too far. Is let me do that and come back. Go back. Is slow down my camera. This is where the old trader was. So everyone who doesn't know where it is, we are going to pop a marker on map. But this is our old trader, and again, it makes sense. A military compound with fencing around the outside, crash helicopters, bunkers, bigger buildings, and just a nice bit of loot. We are working on some of the loot that is spawning here. We are aware, but by the time that you watch this video, this will be all clean, crispy, and having the right amount of loot in here for a tier 4 military zone. Anything you want to add on to this one?
Yeah, just in regards to the stuff we touched on earlier, like the TEC banks. I think is there 3 or 4 of them on map.
Four of
it's
them.
not just a one. It's not just a one location. There is 4 of them dotted around the map. So again, there's plenty to go at. And with the ATMs, I think there's 5. Is there 5 of them?
I think
The
there's
Red
4
Bull
or
ATMs?
5. Yeah, the yellow ones. And we plan to add more. We just want to see how. Well, give us your feedback. Pop it in the comments below and let us know in Discord as well. But your feedback on things like the ATMs. Like, if you want more of them, it's not hard for us to put more in and around the the towns. What we will say with that, though, the more we put in, the higher number of people need to be on the server before they can be robbed. Otherwise, what we don't want is it being low numbers in the morning because everyone's sleeping and a team of people just going around and farming. And we want to ensure that they are only available when we have a medium to high pop environment. So obviously get yourself in, watch the numbers, and the ATMs will go live, and then you'll be able to start robbing them.
Yeah. Again, with the ATMs and the banks as well, we're not actually putting a no build zone around them. We're just trusting in players, and it will be a server rule as well. Obviously, you can build near it. We just expect you not to enclose it, because it'd just be ruining the experience for other people as well. And you're just making that ATM or bank accessible for yourself. So obviously that would be a no-go. So in regards to the ATMs, they are in towns, along with the TEC banks. So just be curious when you're building your base. Just make sure that you're not actually enclosing one of those items in your base, because that would be breaking the server rules, which we don't want. We don't want to have to do that either. We want you guys to have a good time. We don't want to be coming around moaning, saying, "Oh, you built around an ATM, or you're doing this, you're doing that." So just take care. Like I say, they are in towns, and you can build in the towns that they're in, but just be cautious that they are there.
Yeah. Literally, it's just don't build around it. So build in it when it's up there. As I said, we've already put in there that once you've robbed it once, you won't be able to rob it straight away. And more importantly, once it's robbed, you can't just deposit the money that it's given to you into your inventory. So you're gonna have to make a move. But obviously, it goes both ways. If you're building in a town with an ATM and you're pretty close to it, it's going to draw players to those locations, and they're going to find your bases. So you've got to find that balance as a team. Make sure you get that right kind of feel for players running through towns, and you're happy that you're confident your base is all secure. Discord links, obviously we are Discord affiliate, I think it is listed as, which means we have our own link, which is discord.gg/elite DayZ, so you can find us on there. And then obviously the server details are the same as always. If you just type Elite DayZ and then TakistanPlus, you will then see us. We are the only Elite DayZ in there. And obviously to keep you guys posted, we have opted just to close. We have a hardcore Chinaris and we have a deathmatch. We've actually closed them down at the moment just to keep the numbers all in the one server as we work on building it up. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, drop your comments in the box below, and I suppose we'll see you guys in server.
Yeah, 100%. We just want you guys to come in and have a good time and enjoy DayZ for what it is.
100%.
Hope to see you.